Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Emergency Powers Act to be state of emergency on criminals, says Holness. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has served warning that a new emergency powers bill that is at an advanced stage of the development will be a state of emergency on criminals. He was speaking Sunday at the public session of the Jamaica Labour Party's 79th annual conference at the National Arena in St. Andrew. The bill will have the development of a watch list for criminals. It will have special orders for detention of criminals, and it will have the imposition of control orders on the activities of criminals, Holness stated. This will give the police standing powers to treat with some of our more dangerous and insidious criminals, he added. The Prime Minister said the government is taking this step to ensure that we can bring order and peace to our society. He said the intention of the government is to have the bill brought to the Parliament in the next fiscal year that begins April 1, 2023. Shopkeeper killed in St. Anne. A shopkeeper in St. Anne is the latest murder victim in the parish. He has been identified as Leroy Hepburn of Quarry in Steer Town. According to police reports, at about 1:40 p.m., Mr. Hepburn was at his shop, which is located at the entrance of his home. Shortly after, explosions were heard coming from the direction of the shop. Neighbors alerted the police, and Mr. Hepburn was discovered behind the shop, countered with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. No motive has yet been established for the killing of Mr. Hepburn. Politician's business Western Union rob of more than $1 million. A Western Union outlet and a shipping company owned by former government minister Ottilie Lawrence were broken into and robbed in St. Anne in the wee hours of Friday morning. Information reaching reporters is that more than $1.5 million was stolen from the Western Union and at least $20,000 taken from the former Member of Parliament's business. It is understood that the businesses are located in a store in Combs Plaza on Main Street in Monique. Police investigators have so far discovered that the robbery was carried out by 6 men, all masked and wearing gloves. Sources close to the investigations have revealed that the men gained access to the store after they cut open the grill gate at the entrance and then broke a glass door. The culprits reportedly cut open the steel door to the vault in the Western Union outlet and stole cash amounting to $1.6 million before taking the $20,000 from the shipping company. During the incident, the store's alarm system was triggered. A security firm was notified and the police called. Subsequent investigations reveal that the wires to the camera system or at the store were cut. In March 2010, a business operated by Lawrence in Monique was robbed of more than $1 million and several cellular phones. That business at the time housed a Western Union and a Digicel store. It was not ascertained if this was the same location that was broken into on Friday. Little London murder victim identified. Police have identified a man who was stabbed to death on Saturday morning in Moorland Hill, Little London in Westmoreland. The deceased uncle was arrested in connection to his death. He has been identified as 36-year-old Kish Evans, a welding technician of Station Wood in the parish. Reports from the police are that Evans went to the suspect yard, who is his uncle, and talked to him. An argument is said to have developed between both men. In a bid to avoid the situation, Evans is said to have attempted to walk out of the yard situated at the top of the hill. It is reported that upon walking out of the yard, the suspect attacked Evans from behind, pushing him down the hill. The now deceased sought refuge in a neighbor's yard. However, the uncle followed Evans into the neighbor's yard, where he allegedly attacked him again, stabbing him to the left side of the chest. Residents who witnessed what had happened allegedly tried to intervene. The police were summoned, and on their arrival, Evans was seen lying motionless on the ground with what appeared to be a stab wound to the left side of his chest. He was transported to the Savannah Public General Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. A search was subsequently conducted by the police at the home of the suspect, where he was found barricaded inside the house. One ratchet knife with what appeared to be blood was reportedly taken from his waistband. He was subsequently arrested. 4 arrested in firearm ammo seizure in Spanish Town. 4 people have been arrested in connection with the seizure of a firearm and several rounds of ammunition during a joint police-military operation in the St. Catherine North Division on Sunday. Reports from the Spanish Town Police are that between 4 a.m. and 5 a.m., a joint police-military team conducted an operation in an area known as Gulf in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. During the search of a house, 1 Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol and 37 rounds of ammunition were found. The occupants of the house, 3 men and a woman, were arrested, Their identities are being withheld at this time. The St. Catherine North Police continue to encourage individuals to share information about illegal guns, wanted men, and gang activity by calling Crime Stopper 311, the JCF nip tip line at 811, or the Police 119 number. British woman arrested following cocaine seizure at Sangster's International Airport. A British woman has been arrested in connection with the seizure of £50,000, valued at Jamaica $9.1 million, worth of cocaine at the Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, St. James on Saturday. Investigators assigned to the Narcotics Division of the Jamaica Constabulary Force reported that about 7 p.m., the 20-year-old woman of an England address was boarding a departing flight to the United Kingdom when her luggage was searched. During the search, 2 packages of cocaine weighing approximately 2 kilograms were found concealed inside false compartments. The woman was arrested on reasonable suspicion of breaches of the Dangerous Drug Act and remains in custody as the investigation into the matter continues. Lawyer Lisa May Garden suspended for 6 months over botched property sale. Attorney at law Lisa May Garden has been suspended for practicing law for 6 months over her role in the botched sale of a property in Orange Grove, Trelawny in 2014. A disciplinary panel of the General Legal Counsel GLC handed down the sanction on Saturday. It also ruled that as a condition of being reinstated, Garden will have to pay US $35,000 to Charmaine Barnett and Barton Barnett, the complainants who attempted to buy the property. She is also to pay legal costs of 200,000 Jamaican dollars. Saturday's decision follows a ruling in October last year that Garden was guilty of professional misconduct with respect to the way she conducted the convenience transaction she acted for the vendor. The sanction hearing was delayed after the lawyer challenged the ruling in the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, but the efforts to get a judicial review were unsuccessful. The complainant, who did not retain an attorney, paid a total deposit of US $35,000 to Garden. They sought independent legal advice and later discovered that the title to the property was endorsed with a great caveat and that a valid title could not be obtained. The transaction fell through, and according to the complainants, they could not locate the vendor or Garden. Garden was retained by Howard Jobson, who was representative and son of the vendor Kathleen Robinson. After several attempts by the complainants to get a response from Garden regarding the status of the sale and whereabouts of Jobson and the vendor, the lawyer indicated she no longer presented the vendor according to a Court of Appeal judgment. Garden denied owing any legal responsibility to the complainants to refund the money. She said except for the US $10,000 deposit, all the funds were paid directly to the vendor by the complainants. That deposit, she said, was paid by her to the vendor at the request of the complainants. The vendor's agent reportedly absconded with the money. The complaint was filed in August 2018. The disciplinary committee found that Garden failed in her duties to purchaser, notwithstanding that she was not their attorney at law and that she acted in a manner contrary to the interests of the purchasers and inevitably to the deterrent, while at the same time facilitating the vendor to be unjustly enraged. It said where money is to be paid over to the vendor, the attorney, with carriage of sale, must have the consent of the purchasers to do so. It said attorneys must also ensure that the money can be refunded to the purchasers if the transaction fails. Garden, who was not relieved of those duties by the mere fact that she was not the lawyer for the purchaser, the panel said. And the committee said Garden's evidence that the title she had been shown by an agent for the vendor did not have the cert demonstrated that she had failed to do a proper title search before preparing the sales agreement. The chairman, Trevor Hollin, and fellow attorneys Annalisa Lindsay and Pierre Rogers comprised the disciplinary committee. King's Counsel Patrick Foster, who represented the GLC in the High Court, argued that lawyers can be found to be liable for professional misconduct, not only in relation to their clients but anyone who has been aggrieved. He said it meant that once they have been prejudiced by the attorney's conduct, they can bring complaints. Foster emphasized that the Legal Professional Act was clear on that issue, and there are other court decisions on that point. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.